Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. In the previous screencast, we have installed and configured Laravel WebSocket official Pusher PHP SDK, that is Pusher PHP server. If you have not watched the previous screencast, you may be thinking that we are going to use paid Pusher service. Actually, this Laravel WebSocket is a replacement of Pusher service, and we are not going to use paid Pusher service at all. We have also configured JavaScript library, Laravel Echo and Pusher.js. And I have also shown an example of broadcasting an event. So if you have not watched the previous screencast, then you must watch it before continuing this video. You can find the link of the previous screencast in the video description. Now in this video, we will together build a real-time chat system using this Laravel WebSocket package, Vue.js and Laravel Echo. Before moving ahead, if you are new to this channel, hit the red subscribe button and press bell icon so you could never miss our upcoming videos. Now let's start. First of all, let's create a message model in the previous installed Laravel WebSocket project that we have created in the last screencast. So in terminal, php artisan make model message -m. This -m flag will create a migration file for messages table. So in the editor, database, migrations. Here is the newly created migration for the messages table. In this table I will add a user ID and message columns. So table, integer, user ID, unsigned, and table, text, message. Is done. Now let's run the migration. PHP artisan migrate. Our next step is to create user and messages eloquent relationship functions. So in app user.php, in this user model we will create messages relation. So public function messages return this has many message class. Next, in this message model, we will create a user relation function, public function user, return, this belongs to user class. Here I will also declare the fillable array and fillable column is message. Next, I will create a chats route in routes web.php. Route get chats, and here controller is chats controller at index. Now let's create the chats controller. PHP artisan make controller chats controller. In editor, http controllers chats controller.php. First I will add auth middleware in the construct method so only authenticated users can access to chats route. So public function construct this middleware auth. Next, public function index and return view chats. Now let's create the chats blade file. In resources, views, new file chats.blade.php. In this chats blade file, we will create a standard layout for the chats page. Before that, let's generate a Laravel inbuilt authentication system. So in terminal, PHP artisan make auth. Now I am going to steal some markup from auth login.blade.php. Our next step is to create chat component in Vue.js, and I will add that chat component here. So let's first run npm watch in terminal. It will keep watching our changes in JS and compiles that changes into app.js file for us. Now in resources JS components, here you can see example component.vue file. I'm gonna rename this to chats component.vue. Immediately you can see npm compile error in the terminal. This is because in the app.js file, here example component is registered, which no longer exists. It is pretty easy to fix. We just need to replace this example component with our new chat component. Now JS compiled successfully in the app.js. In the chats.blade.php, we have already added chats component. So let's see in the browser PHP adds and serve. In the browser, let's navigate to chats page. Because we have added auth middleware to chats route, so we need to log in with the user account to access chats page. So let's create a new account and log in with this. Username is Harish. Email is harish@example.com. And password. Register. User is registered and logged in. Now let's navigate to chats page. Here you can see this is loaded from the chats component, so it's working. Our next step is to create chats layout here. In chats component, get rid of this markup and start with div row. Inside this div, I will create two more divs, div col 8, div col 4. These classes are from Bootstrap 4. I guess you already know that. In this div, I will show the list of messages and input field for sending a new message. And in this div, I will show the list of active users. Here you may like to create separate components for this list of messages, the input field, and the list of users. But here I will put all this in one component because I feel for me it will be easier to explain things. Next here we'll add Bootstrap 4 card to show messages and input field. So div card default, div card header, messages, div card body p-0. This p-0 is for zero padding. I will show messages in unordered list. So ul list unstyled. This list unstyled class will remove the bullets from the list item. I will also add fixed hide 300 pix and overflow by scroll. Next li p-2. This class is because I want little bit padding in the list item. Inside this li, I want to show user's name inside strong tag. After that message text. Here I will add input field where the user will enter his messages. Input form -control type text, name message, and placeholder. Enter your message. Little formatting here. Next I will add span tag. Class is text muted, and inside this span tag I will show user is typing text. Now we'll create markup for users list. So let's add Bootstrap 4 card, div card default, div card header, active users, div card body. Inside here we will create unordered list to display active users. So ul li py-2. This class is to add padding top and bottom. Inside this li we will display user's name. It's done. Now let's see how it looks in the browser. Refresh. Here we go. It is simple and standard design for the chat system, but this user typing text is not looking good. Let's move it outside the card. Now it's look better. Our next step is to make it functional. So from where I should start? Let's set a few endpoints in routes web.php. Here I will set up a messages route to fetch all messages. Next, let's create this function in chats controller. public function fetch messages, return message with user get. Next endpoint I will set up a post route to send message. In chats controller, public function send message, it will accept request. Here we will store message into database, so auth user messages create, it will accept array, and message is request message, return status success. Now we have two routes, one to fetch all messages and second to send new message. Next step is to use them in chats component. So we can say data, and here we have to return some data. We need to fetch all messages. Initially it is empty. Next, when component is created, make an Axios call to fetch all of the messages. And when we got the response, we will update these messages to response.data. I think this should be in separate method. So I will create methods. Let's say method name is fetch messages and move this to fetch messages. And here we will call this fetch messages. Here we will filter through all messages. You can notice editor is highlighting it because in Vue when we use v4 then we have to bind it with a unique key. You may like to add message.id, but for now I am going to add the index. Here message index. In this strong tag I will show message.user.name and here message.message. That's done. So when the component is created, we're gonna make an Axios call and fetch all messages. At the moment we have 0, so it will return empty array. Here it will render each messages as a list item, and then here it will print user's name and message. JavaScript changes are compiled. Now if we switch over to Chrome, give a refresh, we didn't see any message as expected because we have 0 messages. In Inspect tool, Network tab, here this request is made by the Axios and it returned an empty array. In this View tab, we have chats component and here we have messages array. So far everything is working as expected. Now let's work on this input field. I will try to make it as simple as possible. So I will bind this input field to new message, and here initially it is empty. You may have noticed this, I made a mistake, it should be empty array. Now we want to send a message on press enter key. So here key dot enter send message. Now we need a method for that. Next we're gonna submit a post request to messages. Specifically I want it the message, and that should be whatever user type in the new message input field. After that we can clear out this input. Next here this dot messages dot push message is equal to this new message. Alright, give that a hard refresh, send a message hello, enter to send it. It did not work. Let's see in inspect rule, console tab. Here is the error. Cannot read the property name of undefined. On message send, we have pushed a new message into the messages array, and here we are trying to print message username, but it is unable to find the user in the message. So here we also need to push user along with this new message. So how we gonna pass the user who is sending this message? Well, we will use Vue.js props. And here user, this user. Next in views chats.blade.php, here we need to bind user auth user. Now let's test this in the browser. Send a new message, hit enter. Here we go, it is working now. So now what is our next step? Next we gonna broadcast new messages. For that, let's create a new event. PHP artisan make event message event. In app events message sent.php. This message send class implements should broadcast interface. Construct method will accept message. This message is equal to message. Here we declare public message. In broadcast on method, we gonna return presence channel instead of private channel. Let's say channel name is chat. Presence channel is the same as private channel, but with extra functionalities to determine who is on the channel. Next we need to create a channel route. So in routes channels.php, here channel name is chat. In private channels, we add some logic to verify if a user is allowed to access the channel, and then we return boolean true or false. In presence channel, like private channels, we do verify if user is allowed to access the channel, but instead of boolean, we return user. So here we just return user. It is not necessary that you have to return only user object. You can return anything according to the project need. Next we will broadcast this event. So in chats controller, here in send message function, broadcast, new message sent, and we will pass message. Here message is equal to this created message object. Our next step is to listen for message sent event in the chats component. Here when component is created, we will join to chat channel. So echo.join chat and listen to message sent. This dot messages dot push event message is done. Let's see in the browser. So in terminal, PHP artisan WebSocket serve. In this new window, I will register a new account, John at example.com, password. Next, navigate to chats page. Send a message from here. Here it printed the message, but in this window, message not appeared. Again something went wrong. Let's see in the inspect tool, console tab. Same error, cannot read the property name of undefined. On message sent event, we push the message into messages array. And here we printed message username. Here it looks okay. So where is the issue? Let's see in chats controller where we have broadcasted message. Here is the issue. This message is not eagerly loaded with the user. So to fix this, the message should load the user. Now let's test it again. Add to browser. Refresh. Send a message. It had printed message 2 times. And in this window, message is printed once. Let's see this again. Real-time message is working, but we have a new issue. We sent a message and it had printed message twice. The issue is here. The first message is from here when this event comes through, and second was from here when a message was sent on pressing the enter key. So here we need to say broadcast event to everyone except me, the person who is sending the message. Let's see how. In chats controller, here we say broadcast event to others. Now let's give that one shot. Both of these are refresh. John gets a message one time and Harish also get a message one time. Now we are sending and receiving a message on a real time with WebSocket. Now our next step is here. In this section we're gonna display all active users on this chats channel. So how we gonna do that? Initialize empty users array. Here we gonna filter users. And print username. As you know, this chat is a presence channel that gives us the extra functionality to determine user on this channel. So 3 new methods are available for us. One is called here. This is going to trigger when page is loaded and it contains the informations about all users are currently here. Here what we gonna do, log these so we can see instantly when the method is triggered. Next method is joining when the user has joined the channel. And we have third for leaving when the user has left the channel. This method handler will trigger. Let's see this in the browser. Refresh this page. In console, here method was triggered and it caught 2 users. On refresh this page, in this window you can see joining leaving method was reflected. Let's see once again. In this window navigate to home page, clear console. Now if we refresh, here method was triggered and at the moment one person is present. In another window navigates to chats page again. Now joining method is triggered and that user reflected here. In this window here method has reflected 2 users. On leave this page, leaving method is triggered. This is the user who left the page. That means these 3 methods combined should be everything we need to make this work. Let's try out. Right down here, once we have list of users were present, we will insert it. Right here we simply going to push the user. And when the user leaves, we're gonna filter the users and remove it from the list. Back to Chrome, give it a refresh. Here we can see user Harish. On the other window, navigate to chats page. Now you can see here on real time John is added and we have two users on both windows. If Harish leaves this page, from here Harish is removed. If Harish navigates to chat page again, and he is listed again on real time without page refresh. Now everything is working properly. This is all in this video. In the next video we will work on this user typing text. It will be done through Enable Client Messages configuration option. Another thing we'll look into the next video is when we send a couple of messages, you can notice this scroll is stick to the top. We have to scroll to bottom to see the message, and we will fix this in the next video. So if you like the tutorial, hit the like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe us. See you into the next upcoming video.